Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So we have only gone and lost to Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup, and all I can say is it is extremely disappointing. For several reasons. Look, I think the reaction on any loss for Liverpool is going to be much more extreme than a kind of routine win. That's just natural when you are supporting a club that is doing well. A club that has high expectations, high ambitions, and a club that is tipped to win multiple trophies this season. It comes as a shock that we've lost to Plymouth, of course. In my opinion, it's not that much of a shock as some people might be making out. This is typical FA Cup. I think that kind of evaded Arne Slot's thinking with the squad that he brought. I wanted to see changes, definitely, and I'm very happy it was a changed lineup. I'm very happy the likes of Salah, Van Dijk, obviously Trent was injured, Konate, Allison, Robertson, our A-string lineup were kind of left at home. But I think it was a very weak bench. And when you're playing in the FA Cup, you're playing a League One team, a League Two team, a Championship team. It is the match of the season for these guys, match of the season for their fans. This is a chance to win the FA Cup, which is an amazing trophy, a historic trophy in English football, which I think we should also appreciate. Obviously, we're fortunate to have the Champions League, but of course, it's a chance for even the kind of bottom 10 teams, bottom 12, bottom 16, not bottom 16, sorry, the bottom 10 teams, and then kind of the teams from 7th to 10th also to kind of take seriously, because, this is a cup competition that is open for anyone. And so I think it was a kind of oversight from Arne Slot. Definitely the lineup was weak. I would have started Curtis Jones. McConnell had a bad game. Endo was all right. Harvey Elliott had a terrible game. Simicast wasn't great. Kwanzaa was embarrassing. Neone didn't really have much of an effect. Kelleher did as best as he could. Gomez getting injured in the first, inside the first 10 minutes was a disgrace. I think it has had a massive impact on our game. He's not just the best defender on the pitch, but also he helps with the build-up, helps with the leadership. He was the captain. Your captain's off after 8 minutes in Plymouth in the FA Cup away, far away from your home. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. And I think we were under the cosh, quite early on. The senior players didn't step up. Chiesa, that was a really bad performance. We had no right back. Jota, ineffective. Luis Diaz, absolutely anonymous throughout the whole game. Mabaya, when he came on, was couldn't really do much. So this is really disappointing for several reasons. I think we could have had a good cup run, and I just don't understand the reason why we had to go out. This was it's just really uncomfortable. We might as well have stayed in the competition as much as possible, just in case, it would have turned into something that we needed to win. And I am of the opinion that people who say it's just the FA Cup, what do you mean? It's just every trophy is holy. Every trophy is very important. And I can't just get my head around people that are happy that we've gone out. I don't think many people are happy that we've gone out. And we had such a good chance. And I really think the FA Cup is a beautiful competition. The semi-finals at Wembley. Twice you get to go to Wembley, semi-finals and final. And it's a beautiful day out in the summer. It's such a shame, especially Arsenal losing. We are the best team in the competition going into this game. And it's just a shame. And the performance of our fringe players was really poor. It really was poor. There wasn't... I was thinking, are they being told to not try? I mean, this was really embarrassing. We had a couple of chances at the end. I think Nunes should have scored. Even Nunes, when he came on, was poor. And it really says something about these players. This was not good enough. And I'm not going to say that, our second team lineup isn't good. Because I do think, on one-off occasions, you're playing away in the FA Cup. You're not expected to perform amazingly. But on the other hand, you are expected. You're being paid £1,000. You train every week. I understand some people might not want to play in this game. They'd rather start in the Premier League. But, you have to take your ego out of this. You have to take your, I'm so annoyed I'm only starting this FA Cup game. Why is my manager not giving me more minutes in the Premier League or the Champions League? This is not the way I think that our players should be thinking. This is an honour to wear the badge in every single game, whatever type of game it is. And, they should have taken this more seriously. So they could have taken this far more seriously. And it's just disappointing because, we could have got a nice draw. That would have been the 5th round. Then we would have made the quarterfinals. 2 more games you only need to win. 2 more fucking games. I believe you only needed to win. And then you would make the fucking semi-finals. It's just 2 more games. How difficult is it? It's just not fucking difficult. It's an absolute disgrace that we have been knocked out to Plymouth Argyle. And I don't see any logic. I mean, listen, we will have FA Cup quarterfinals maybe, on the back of a Champions League quarterfinal, maybe FA Cup semi-final with a Champions League semi-final potentially. But there's no guarantee we win any of this shit. There's no guarantee we win any of this shit. So this is just embarrassing. I just want to get on to the next game, and there's no guarantee we would have won the FA Cup, but there's a chance we could have done. And, it's not often you get Arsenal getting knocked out, Chelsea getting knocked out. It's not often you're having City struggling this season. Obviously, it is often that United is fucking wank, but somehow they still manage to win shit. So this was disappointing. Tottenham are now out, but obviously there's strong teams like Brighton, Villa, Newcastle. So, listen, I think it's really hard to take, but I think, we have to win this Carabao Cup final. And we have to win the Premier League. If you give me the Premier League and Carabao Cup now, I will take it. And of course, do you know what? We're not Man City. We don't spend millions on our squad. We can't always go deep in every competition. This is the fact. This is the absolute facts of the business, to be honest. We are not Man City, and our owners do not spend. We are not absolutely stacked like many people think. We are indeed overperforming this season. It is an absolute overperformance what we're doing, and I will stand by that. I'm not bothered what other people think. I'm glad that we have some fan channels that also talk about this. Sometimes they annoy me in the sense that, they're too pro FSG, but I'm also pro Liverpool, and I am pro being real and being fair, and I think there's lots of Liverpool fans that would agree with me, and lots of decent fans that would also agree with me that we are not stacked at every position. FSG have left us short many times. People say, oh, what could we have spent? Of course we could have spent in January. Look, Villa, they didn't need to spend all their signings. They spent. City, did they really need to sign 4 players? No, they didn't. Many, they didn't. They just needed a couple signings. We have not signed shit. We could have signed some defensive players. We could have signed an additional centre-back. Gomez is now injured, which means we're fucked. Kwanzaa is not good enough. If you think he was good enough, you are deluded. I said he was shit. Last year, even when people thought he was good, he was shit. So this is just unacceptable. Completely and utterly unacceptable that we have... Well, maybe not unacceptable, but it would be unacceptable if we don't win the league from now. And I think maybe, the bigger picture is less chance of our players getting injured with more games. That is only that. I mean, I think it's fine. Yeah, maybe sometimes you've got to take your head out your football and think this is a good day for Plymouth. I'm happy for those fans and just set aside. And I'm happy for those fans. But I do think we need to win this Premier League. It's a need now. Devastating if we don't, because we need the legacies of Van Dijk. We need the legacies of Salah. We need Trent to kind of maybe leave with 2 Premier League trophies. And our players, our big players, our senior players, our experienced players, our best players, they're getting older. And we need this in the bank for our own sanctity, our own heart, our own soul. We have to get this Premier League over the line. And I think we can do that. Now, we have massive fixtures. Let's fuck over this FA Cup. Whatever. I expect every single player on that pitch today to be putting performances as a substitute, or if they are starting. This is an unbelievably unacceptable performance. Credit to Plymouth, but Diaz, Jota, the senior players, Chiesa, I don't want to hear no excuses. This is professional football. You need to sharpen up. You need to get a grip, and you need to go again. Everton away, Wolves at home, Villa away. They have to all be wins. Villa away will be the toughest game. I'm not having any of this Everton shit. I don't give a shit. It's a derby. Get the game going. Get the goal scoring. Get over it. Forget it. Don't buy into this last Goodison derby. They'll all be cunts, but they're not good enough to outlast us. We have players fit. Szoboszlai, Grafenberg, Jones didn't even fucking play. Konate and Van Dijk. Hopefully they stay fit. And Salah and fucking hell, Diaz was so bad, and so was Jota. But sometimes they can be bad, but they will improve. So yeah, we're fine. We'll move on and hopefully win the Premier League.